Hello, my name is Lucas, this is a Bit of Lit, and I'm here to talk about A Bond Undone, which is the second in 4 parts of the Legends of the Condor Heroes. This is written by Yong, translated by Gigi Chang, and this this part of the book is absolutely incredible. So many things happen that I honestly don't know if I remember them all. uh, the plot thickens and the alliances become very gray because there's lots of things going on, particularly at the beginning of this book, which picks up right at the end of what happened in the last book, and the story just continues. Last time, Yong found out that his mother had another husband who was presumed dead, but turns out that he was actually alive, and showed up in the Jin Prince's princedom, house, manor, in his manor, I guess, and, you know, came to take his wife, basically. Came and took his wife. This leads to a real struggle and inner turmoil for Yang Kong, who has to come to terms with the fact that he is not who he thought he was. And, you know, he's very haughty and arrogant and all this stuff, and proud of himself. But all those things he was haughty and arrogant and proud of are kind of an artifice, because he's inheriting this title and demeanor based on lies, essentially. Meanwhile, Guo Jing and Huang Rong are in, Lotus Huang are in big trouble, and they need to get out. Viper Ouyang is, that's the English names. I don't understand why some of them keep their Chinese names and some of them get English names, but I digress. I think we could have just kept the Chinese names, and if we needed to explain, we could put a little footnote. Anyway, they are in some big trouble. Viper Ouyang wants to drink the blood of Guo Jing because he killed the snake of Guo Jing and somehow gained its powers. We see that happen all throughout, his ability to withstand venom and poison. Not only that, but Huang Rong has her own troubles and she needs to escape, and she is a really great character. She really shines in this one. You know, she's very witty, ready to throw down if she needs to, spunky, spicy, all that, coy maybe, and, you know, will throw a fit and pout when she doesn't get her way, and when she does, she's very teasing and very fun. I see why a lot of people really like her character. Anyway, while they're trying to escape all these different alliances and relationships come to a cross section. I know, what is that called? A crossroads, because there's people who are aligned with people we think are supposed to be bad guys, and they're aligned with other people who are supposed to be bad guys, but actually are good, but actually have some relationship to Guo Jing in some other way. And then Hurricane May, of course, makes her appearance as well. She's been training Yang Kong with some special skills deep in a little tunnel that's been hidden away. And it gets very tricky about what to do because, of course, the 6 freaks of the South, or 6 heroes of the South, because Brother Zhang Asheng died, so there's no longer 7, thanks in large part due to, what was his name? Now Hurricane Chan. What was his name? Hurricane May's lover, something Chan. Typhoon? No. Tornado? No, I forgot. There's so many names in here. Anyway, it is really incredible just how those alliances and relationships come together and get really sticky and ugly, and how they manage to all get out without totally throwing down and people dying. Because there's a whole lot of powerful kung fu fighters. Guo Jing, of course, is one of them. He becomes increasingly more powerful, finding more masters, or a brother in this case. Eventually, Huang Rong and Lotus Huang and Guo Jing make their escape, and they're together for a while. They're very happy. They run away because they want to be together, but that causes a lot of problems because Mercy Mu, who was the adopted daughter of Yang Kong's father, was it Sky Fury Yang? Or Ironheart Yang? Ironheart Yang, Sky Fury Guo, right? Okay, Ironheart Yang adopted a daughter, Mercy Mu, who lost in a battle with Yang Kong, who is now sort of betrothed by honor to Yang Kong, but it's kind of his sister in a way, but not really, which causes some problems. She doesn't want to change her name to Yong because she doesn't want to have the same name as the man she's meant to marry. But they want her to marry Guo Jing. They want Guo Jing to marry her because if there was a pact between the fathers that if I have a daughter and you have a son, they will marry and bond our families together. Well, I guess we have that bond undone there, right? But not only that, but Guo Jing is betrothed to Temujin, Genghis Khan's daughter, Kojin, I forgot, Colleen, I think, who really loves him, but he just sees her as a sister. So this causes another bond to be undone. Not only that, but of course Yang Kong, with his relationship with his father, bond undone. Or is it? Because can he give that up? That is the big question. Will he give that up? Well, we'll see what happens in the third book. It doesn't look like that's going to happen based on this one. But Huang Rong and Guo Jing, you know, they go on their own, they become closer, and it's very sweet. And they meet Count Seven or something, I forgot his name, Count Seven Hong or something like that, who is the one of the 5 like grandmasters, and is a beggar, but is incredibly powerful. He ends up training both of them in his kung fu in exchange for some delicious food that Lotus can cook. And they make it to Lake Tai eventually. And here's where things get really tricky, because everybody comes up, including Apothecary Huang, the English name of Huang Rong's father. And he is a scary dude. This guy is the most powerful man we see up to that point. Eventually somebody, my favorite character, overpowers him. He's got a prisoner on his island that he just won't let go. He has servants all throughout that he's cut the tongues out of on his island, Peach Blossom Island. He's cut the tongues off of them, and they're a band of miscreants, basically. All the worst kinds of people come get their tongues cut off. Instead of being punished further, I suppose they can work there and continue to live their lives as servants rather than die, I suppose is the situation. This dude will kill at will, and he wants nothing to do with Guo Jing. And there's all kinds of incredible fighting going on at Lake Tai. Eventually we make our way to Peach Blossom Island, where Guo Jing will fight for the right to marry Huang Rong. Not necessarily fight, but he will go through trials and tribulations, but not before he meets the prisoner, Zhou Botong, I believe is how you say his name. Could have the tones wrong there, but he's my favorite character. He is horribly naughty, which is a very polite way to say that he is a complete rascal, very immature, childish, always needs to get his way. But he trains Guo Jing using the Nanyin Manual, which is an incredibly important, valuable Taoist document with the most powerful Kung Fu, which Hurricane May was using and learned from, but she didn't quite understand it. So she learned the wrong values from it, and that's why she's puncturing people's skulls with her fingers when she read it totally wrong. Guo Jing doesn't realize that's what he's learning from. He thinks it's an infernal, horrible script, doesn't want anything to do with it. But through learning this, he goes through some trials and tribulations against Viper Ouyang's son, Gallant Ouyang, who has his band of merry ladies, to say the least. And he impresses Apothecary Huang right up until the point where Zhou Botong, Count Seven, who shows up, and Guo Jing decide to leave on a ship. Zhou Botong wants to take a ship, but it is dedicated to Apothecary Huang's dead wife, who he loves and wanted to build that ornamental kind of ship as a death trap for him so he could be reunited with his loved one. But he tries to warn them not to take it, but Zhou Botong is childish and needs to have his way, and he's like, fine, whatever. And that's kind of where we're left off. Mersamu at some point realizes that Yang Kong is not going to change and honor the Song Emperor. He's going to betray his origins and continue to be who he's been, and support his father, Wanyan Honglie, who is looking for Yue Fei's hidden poetry, which could help him become, I guess, the emperor himself, take on the Song dynasty, deal with the miscreant Mongolian hordes, which are causing some problems, but nothing too serious as of yet. She takes some drastic action, to say the least. So we're going to see what happens with Yang Kong in the next book. Lotus Huangrong is desperate to save Guo Jing from disaster, because it seems like he's going to die at sea, which Apothecary Huang didn't necessarily want. He realized that maybe this is destiny, even though he didn't have a lot of respect for Guo Jing. Maybe it is destiny for Lotus and Guo Jing to be together. But in this way, because the book, the manuscript was destroyed, he can return it to his dead wife the way he had intended, because she memorized it a long time ago and rewrote everything by memory and that kind of thing. It's amazing, this book, okay? There's so many things going on. I've left out probably like 90% of everything. The intricacy of character and plot and themes and all that stuff is just incredible. I mean, this book is amazing. I just can't believe. I need to know what's going to happen next. I have the third one, but I know once I read the third one, I'm going to think, what happens in the fourth one? Come on, let me know. But I'm excited to see what Lotus Huang is going to do, what Guo Jing is going to do. Is he going to ever get revenge? This is a revenge story, and we haven't even seen the guy who's killed Sky Fury Guo and Ironheart Yong, supposedly, even though we find out that he was in fact alive in the first novel and through the very beginning of this book. I love this book. So many things happening. If you've read it, let me know what you think.